What's going on?
Yeah, it's a Screen Source, the review of this weekend's biggest hit, The Nun. Whether it's a critical hit or a commercial hit is an entirely different question.
There weren't a lot of other like big films that dropped this weekend.
We had Peppermint, the stripper movie, and
It was a little
Thank
different.
God.
Yeah.
Somebody else thinks that.
That's pretty much. There really wasn't like we talked about it in the regular show that we do here.
Yeah.
Bye bye, Alex. Thank you.
Good night, producer.
But yeah, I don't know. The Nun was the one. The
yeah,
Nun was
Yeah.
one.
not a lot going on. Actually, made a lot of money,
Yeah.
Did it? Oh, yeah.
around 130-ish.
Against its
million,
budget, I
I
think it was
think.
like 20 or 30 million.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got to review The Nun. I'm Hector Valverde, professional film critic.
I'm Jess.
I'm Dylan, not professional, but
Not
I want.
professional, but I try.
So, are you guys big fans of the Conjuring series?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a bigger fan than I am.
Yeah. If I'm going to be honest with you, and that's all I want to be with you, Hector.
Of course.
It is maybe my favorite horror film franchise, if there was one. And I know there's only a handful. A lot of them are the slasher
Right.
franchises, you know. But I actually was reading a review that was saying that, in all honesty, like the Conjuring universe, which is what it's called, is the biggest franchise after the MCU.
I think that was my review.
That came after the MCU started.
Yeah, it's the only successful one, really.
Successful. It's not monetarily successful. That would be the DCEU, because the DCEU's made it like billions, whereas
Even though they suck.
yeah, whereas I mean, like even almost a billion just in a single film. I think Suicide Squad made 800 mil.
Yeah, it's insane. Too much money.
Wonder Woman made a lot
But The
of money.
Conjuring
Actually,
as a
they're
whole,
good.
I think, has made $1 billion.
It's more profitable, hands down. These
Yeah.
are small horror movies. You crank them out,
Yeah.
make some good paper.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So-
yeah, where do we start here?
Yeah, well, this was actually my first Conjuring series movie. So, honestly, with it being a typical horror movie, I just went in expecting the worst, and
You said last week when you go into films you expect good stuff.
I-
Or not good, but you give it a reasonable.
I tried to, man. But the marketing behind this movie, it made it so obvious it was gonna be a cheap jump scare, cheap thrills kind of movie. And you know what? It was pretty much that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the and
you
that
tend to like jump scare movies.
yeah,
lot
that
more
it is
than I
a
do.
genre of
Not
horror
jump
film
scare
that
movies.
is loved or not loved. I'd say like huge horror enthusiasts really kind of like all the genres.
Sure.
I noticed that like the people that there's also another subset of huge horror enthusiasts too that really just like the traditional slashers. You
Yeah.
know, they're really into that Freddy Krueger stuff and
Sure.
the Jason. Anyways, yes, the Conjuring universe though does kind of live in it lives in that world of the jump scare genre, but it also lives in they're all about demons.
Yeah.
That the whole series is about demons.
Yeah.
And so this character, the nun, or the Valk, what is it?
Valmek.
Valak, has
Whatever.
showed up.
Demon Valk.
Has showed up now, if I'm not mistaken, 3 times
Yes.
in the series.
Really?
Yeah, let's back up here. So the original movie in the Conjuring universe was The Conjuring.
Yes. It wasn't in that one, as far as I remember. Was it?
I'm trying.
She was, but I don't remember how.
Oh,
she
well-
was in The Conjuring 2,
No.
definitely.
There was spoilers ahead.
Yeah,
in
this is
case
all
you didn't
spoilers.
know.
Yes.
But at the end of The Nun, you see that last segment where it's the Warrens filming an exorcism,
Which happens in the very
which
first scene.
is the very last scene in the first Conjuring.
Oh, it's the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So
yes.
I guess technically, it was in the first Conjuring.
Yeah, but not in the form that we know it.
Right.
Right.
And so if we're going by release date, it was Conjuring, then Annabelle, then Conjuring 2, then Annabelle Creation, thank you, and then The Nun. But chronologically, it's The Nun, which is set in the early 50s, going towards the mid 50s with Annabelle Creation, and then Annabelle, and then Conjuring, and then The Conjuring 2. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's the
You're probably right.
order that we're
That's
in.
the order.
So yeah, The Nun then now has shown up in the Nun, obviously, or Valk shows Valak. I don't know why I can't remember that. It's not that hard. Shows up in the Nun.
Pronunciation.
I don't know. I feel like it's supposed to be like this old English, like with the guttural. You know, it's not. No, it's
I
Valak.
can't do accents. Just
Yeah,
don't even try.
I'll work on it. Yeah, and then you're right. Shows up back and then The Conjuring 2. He was the big bad
Oh yeah.
in The Conjuring 2. Yeah, and again, we're getting kind of spoiler territories, but I don't want to like completely ruin it for you. If you plan on moving forward with the series,
Should. I really think it's the Conjuring movies themselves are better than.
Yeah, they're better than the standard horror film.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, and it's James Wan produced, who started off or who got big from Saw.
Yes.
And then moved forward into like Fast and Furious. I think he did 7 or something. Fast 7 or something. And more recently, just finished wrapping up Aquaman.
It's a weird.
It's a weird.
He's a very diverse director, I guess.
Yeah, and I think you start to
Good with
see.
horror films, I think.
Yeah,
He's pretty good.
that's his bread and butter
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
or at least what he
he's-
loves.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of. I think I only saw the first Saw and I wasn't a fan of it.
You like it or you don't.
Yeah, and then like, what was the other one you said that he did?
Oh,
Didn't do,
he did the Insidious series, which is
Yeah.
another big
Those are good.
kind of franchise. I don't like that
I-
series.
You don't.
Yeah, I think we're on opposite ends of the
Interesting.
James Wan spectrum.
I don't know.
Well, let's get into the Nun. So the
Yeah.
movie
Sure.
is about so in a Romanian abbey, a young nun commits suicide, and this prompts the Vatican to send like Van Helsing like priest.
That is a perfect like characterization of this character.
Yeah.
He was the Van Helsing.
That was a great idea, not so good on the execution, and also a young nun who's yet to
She has
Take her vows.
take her vows.
Yeah.
So and she
Not
has
confirmed.
like visions. So they send the two together to the haunted abbey, and the nun appears and scares people.
There's a little more
turns
nuance.
Out she's a demon.
It's
Turns
not
out-
actually a
Turns
nun.
out that during the Crusades,
Yeah.
during the Crusades, there was this demon was, I don't know.
It was
It was being
came
summoned
out of,
by some
Yeah.
lord or
Mhm.
duke.
Right.
Yeah,
and then
and-
they put the blood of Christ to seal the hellmouth thing where she came from, and then
Basically
they
a hellmouth.
sealed it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's weird. The Conjuring actually takes religion kind of seriously.
Yeah.
Like especially like the Catholic faith, because you got the blood of Jesus and the nuns, and
that was like the most it's ever taken it, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally Jesus's blood.
it went a little silly for me, you know.
Yeah, and it actually
sure.
reminded me a little bit of Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
When they're mixing that supernatural element in, and then genre crossing. Indiana Jones' adventure. It's an adventure genre, but
Indiana Jones was made in the 80s.
yeah,
Sure.
And also, it's like campy in a way that's really great.
yeah, and
Whereas
I'm
the Nun.
well, and it has
Yeah.
freaking Harrison Ford. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
that's not even like
Yeah.
that's a
I
difficult
know.
comparison.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the actors were fine. They didn't get a lot to do though.
Yeah, yeah.
Well-
I feel like Tessa kind of Farmiga. She kind of like was the best actress. Probably.
Well, yeah, and it centers around her character, which I will say I'm a huge fan of the fact that they hired her to do this job.
Because Vera Farmiga, who is her sister, is in The Conjuring.
Yes, and I like
The
that.
Conjuring too.
Like, I don't know, it's an interesting choice. It's a cool choice to make. She was really good. She's a good
Yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
She it mostly focuses on her, and to be like quite honest, it really didn't need the other characters to move the
Yeah,
story
the
forward.
farmhand or the Uber guy, the Uber horse guy.
The Uber horse buggy guy.
It
He
felt
was
like
basically their
He's
Uber.
He's a buggy lift.
He's the nicest Uber I've ever seen.
Yeah.
it felt like he was just there for comic relief
He
on
was.
occasion, and then at the very end, I guess to ham fist him and to tie it up with the first Conjuring.
Yeah, and like they have done that for every film, in that this is all tied together. We're in this universe, and I didn't even mention that they're bringing 2 to 3 more movies.
Crooked Man.
in
The Crooked Man, right?
Crooked Man, yeah, who shows up in Conjuring 2.
I need to see that one.
There's a revival of that. It's not out yet. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Like
Crooked Man's not out
Conjuring
yet.
2, yeah.
Conjuring 3 is another one, and
Another
then,
Annabelle.
and then another Annabelle, which I
Gosh.
think might be coming sooner rather
I
than
think
later.
Annabelle Creation was better than this movie, I have to say. But to get back to this, I think that yeah, I think you're right about the cheap scares. A lot of it's cheesy, very like, oh, come on now. I expected that to happen. But it scared me.
Yeah,
You
did
know,
any of it actually, like, it got to me, certainly, the
yeah.
jump scares.
I
it
was
got to
counting
me.
the beats down before.
Yeah. You kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I
It's
like
bound
the
to happen.
feeling.
I don't.
It-
I prefer like a psychological horror movie like Hereditary,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
The Shining.
I agree.
Or,
I mean, yeah.
Rosemary's Baby. You know, like
And those
that's what
movies
I
are
have.
up here, though, in terms of horror classics.
Yeah.
Well, actually, look. On that psychological thrill, this movie actually had everything it needed to be a more than adequate movie.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it doesn't understand what's actually scary. Oh, the church, the abbey setting, the whole religion angle feels like it'd be interchangeable. It could just not be about that and just be a random demon or town or something. It doesn't really. The movie doesn't understand what's actually scary about the faith or religion or these things. Like these nuns, they're losing. Like this, for example, a lead character. This girl is going to take her vows. Like it would be scary to start disassociating yourself from your personal identity from society. That's what's scary.
Huh,
And
interesting.
not just scary demon.
Right. Okay, that's an interesting
like,
take. They
you know,
could have
That's
definitely went
kinda
that
similar to
way.
what I was saying about why nuns are scary last week, because it's so frightening to think that you like put all your faith into like just dedicating yourself to someone who is not alive.
And they
It's so
did
crazy.
they
It's so
did
crazy.
they did do that a little bit in that like it was pretty scary to know that they were 24/7 for the last X amount of months
Just
or years
praying.
praying.
Right.
That was like scary in itself.
Yeah,
just
that
knowing
was good.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool little take on it. Also, the fact that some of it or a lot of what we saw didn't actually happen. They were never there. The last
That's-
nun that was there was the woman who killed herself. I kind of liked that angle of it.
That's my problem with. I didn't actually realize that until you just said it. I was confused what this demon's powers is. It can teleport. It's got Jedi powers to like throw people up
It
against
does
the
kinda
walls.
look
Well,
like
I
the
mean-
Emperor, doesn't it?
It can.
He does
earth-
look like the
It
Emperor.
can earthbend
Emperor
like
Palpatine.
It
Yeah.
Yeah.
can earthbend like an avatar. She seals that guy up inside the ground in the coffin. What? Okay. What does this demon
It was
do?
a very powerful demon.
Yeah.
You can't just do that though. You gotta.
like there's got to be
To one
limitations.
power.
Yeah, or at least
Something.
explain, like, and I know in Milton's Paradise Lost, English, when he's going down the list of all the demons in hell, he's talking about, well, this person is greedy, this person sows war, this person confuses, every.
And they explored that a little bit in the books that he was reading in the temple or whatever it was. The
Whatever.
yeah, and where the coffins were, or the
Yeah, what was that? It was just like a little side house outside.
Yeah,
It was
it's throughout.
weird.
Yeah, it's throughout. That was
They
I will
should have made
say.
multiple demons is what they should have done. They shouldn't have just expected it to be all one demon.
I
that
think they
did all
did.
these things.
They did do multiple demons.
Oh.
So they jumped back on Van Helsing's story of
Oh yeah.
of the boy
the exorcism.
that he tried to
yes.
exorcise at one point. The boy died, but he did mention, I don't think that demon went away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
he
the
comes back.
demon comes back to basically haunt him. And I guess this place probably exacerbates the demons. I don't know.
I see. I thought that was just still Valhazak, whatever. I thought that was still him just like taunting him. I didn't
I
ever.
thought that was too.
Yeah, I didn't
What? You
ever.
guys didn't catch that it was the other demon from before?
Well,
Was it though?
I
Or
just-
was
I'm-
it just this demon Valak just messing with
yeah,
him?
that's what I thought.
Oh, shit. I could be wrong.
You
but
could be right.
but I have a feeling that's what it was. Also, I think, which may have confused some people too, at the end of the movie, she spits the blood on him, which I thought was kind of a cool move, honestly. I
Actually,
think
like
they
that
did
part.
things in this movie that they hadn't done in other movies.
It-
And I don't mean in Conjuring industry. I mean in like horror films.
Oh yeah.
Like that scene in particular, which was kind of a weird one. I like that. Like the final scene was like in a like in water.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
When do you see
I
that?
liked that scene. I think overall, I wasn't like super like woohoo. You know, like it scared me. It did the job of scaring me, but also like.
Let me jump back, cut you off for a second to what I was getting at, which is in that scene we were under the impression that the nun dies, right? Because she goes back into the hellmouth, or at least what it looks like.
Yeah.
But she never actually does die. She ends up.
Nonetheless, she doesn't die.
Yeah, because she needs. That pissed off actor.
That was a good pun.
The nun needs a body to live,
Yeah,
right? To live in, to live within, a vessel in order to come out. And the vessel that she finds eventually is the farmer boy, the Uber boy, right? Because then you see the upside down
very
cross.
Attractive, might I add.
Yeah, he's a good looking.
And I liked how he kept like telling Taste for me like it's too bad you're
It's
coming
too
around.
bad,
It's
yeah.
just, like, such a shame.
That was just like
It was really gross and like kind of pervy.
it
but
was
also,
too
like, kind of
easy.
funny.
That's
Yeah.
my thing. They just took the easy route in all these movies.
Yeah.
You don't want to build genuine tension, throw in a jump scare and cut all the music before it.
I think that's unfair though, as far as like jump scares are concerned. It is a genre where that trope, even though it is a trope, it has evolved. It can be manipulated. It can be done in really good ways. I'm not saying that The Nun necessarily did it great, but like I watched Lights Out recently, which is a really good jump scare film. And like The Conjuring, I think they did a really good job. They did weird things with like the double clap.
That was that was a tasteful jump scare.
But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I understand again that there's a lot of horror film fans that aren't fans of the genre, but much like slasher films, there's just different and unique ways to kill somebody, you know?
I like a good slasher film every now and then. You know, I think I have fun at these movies because
Yes.
I'm very easily scared and I jump very easily.
To me, they almost feel like action films, like in that they're very genre-y. They really lean on their genre, unless it's like Hereditary, where you have a really good cast and story behind it, and it's hard. Not everybody thinks so at this table.
Not a Hereditary guy. Probably the only person on the planet.
What is your favorite?
Yeah,
horror
what are you
film?
into?
Like, what's your thing?
Ooh. I don't know if I have a favorite because I've only recently gotten into the genre.
Sure.
Okay.
But see, one that comes to mind immediately, it's a slash movie, The Hills Have Eyes, the 2006 remake by.
John likes that one a lot.
It's
I haven't
it's
watched
good. It's fucking scary.
It just goes for the I love me some gore.
Yeah. So yeah,
So-
that's a whole other genre. And I've heard people like refer to this is the way I think of the horror genre is that it feels like I'm on a roller coaster almost.
Yeah.
And I love that feeling.
See, I am such a like chicken shit about life. I don't like to go on roller coasters. I'm afraid of heights. I won't do any kind of like jumping out of planes or bungee jumping. Basically, won't do anything that's slightly makes my heart race.
What's your favorite horror film?
But I will watch horror films, and for a long time it's been The Shining.
You're changing it.
No, I don't know that I'm changing it. I just think that
You wanna reevaluate?
After rewatching Rosemary's Baby, I really like it, and also we recently watched It Follows, and I think that's like my favorite modern horror film.
Have
Really?
you seen Don't Breathe?
No, I've been
Ooh.
wanting to watch that.
That's a great recommend.
It looks good.
It's a modern movie.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd recommend. It's not very jump scare heavy, but it kind of is. It's like
It
in
looks
the
more
middle.
terrifying.
It's yeah.
Yeah,
Watch-
yeah.
watch.
I want to watch that. In recent years, obviously, Hereditary has been a big one. Oh my God, why am I forgetting the name? The one with the door, the red door. It Comes at Night.
I haven't seen that
Very
one.
different take on horror films. More of a thriller. Really good though. Critically lauded. I'm trying to think of other big ones that have really because and this year too, I think has been like a big.
Return to that.
Like a big horror film, it's a success. Like they've been doing a really good job, and we have Mandy this upcoming weekend.
Hellfest.
Yeah,
That's coming up.
yeah, Hellfest. So yeah, there's been a lot of good ones. This one, probably not going to reach the top,
We had a
but
bunch of horror shows this year too, like the Stephen King one.
Oh, Stephen King.
Castle
every
Rock.
Stephen
Rock,
King
which
thing.
I heard
Yeah.
was good, and then you know, we've got every freaking Stephen King thing possible.
Yeah, and then watching TV grow to be as good as film in some
Mhm.
ways has been really
Yeah.
exciting too.
Yeah, definitely.
And a bunch of anthologies, and I don't know if you know, but not Keegan Michael Key, Jordan Peele is just really taking control of this horror genre right now.
He's making like his own subgenre, the racial subgenre.
Yeah,
political.
he's tackling Lovecraft, a new Lovecraft.
Cthulhu.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Cthulhu is a Lovecraft story, but he's tackling I do believe directing, writing a Lovecraft anthology series. I believe it's for HBO.
Wow.
He has Twilight Zone reboot. That's going to be him,
Oh
and then
my
he has
God.
another one coming out too. I can't remember, but like
It's a movie. Right?
Jordan Peele though, he's the one that's
He's
gonna.
killing it.
Yeah,
He's probably gonna do a really good job because I feel like Get Out was really good.
It was
and,
fantastic.
I'm really excited because
We had the other one this year.
Phenomenal.
we had the other one this year with the Hear Don't Hear. What was that one called? Where the aliens and you can't make noise.
Quiet Place.
Quiet
I
Place,
loved
yeah.
Quiet
John
Place.
Krasinski.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of like there's just a lot of unique takes I think right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
The Nun.
Black Mirror is like could be called horror. I think.
Oh, we
in
didn't
some
get to me.
ways.
My favorite horror film,
Yeah, what is it?
The Conjuring. I love The Conjuring. I love that it's like this modern look at horror, yet it still borrows a lot from like classics.
I really like the dynamic with the Warrens too.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
And to see it
Yeah.
as like a series of stories with the
Mhm.
Warrens, and the Warrens are only in 2 films actually. I mean,
Right.
several I believe at least it's focused on the 2, but in other ones they've been in them, but they're not a part. They're not the driving
Right.
force behind the film.
Yeah.
The
Conjuring's
Nun.
really good. It scared the bejesus out of me, and Dylan for like months did.
Yeah, I would hide behind
I was
doors.
like, I'm gonna kill you.
It was a good time.
It's a good movie. I recently
Yeah.
watched it, and it's good.
It's good.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
And critically liked. I think all of them actually, except for The Nun, which we talked about recently on Screen Source, and the first Annabelle,
Yeah.
not very loved.
Conjuring 2 scared me. I think maybe even a little more than the first Conjuring.
Conjuring 2 is gnarly. Annabelle 2 is
God.
gnarly. Annabelle 2 is really good. That's the other one I was going to mention is that she's that this Valka is in Annabelle 2 where they really
It's just Valak. Why is it so hard to say?
Valak, because I can't remember it. Valak was mentioned a lot or maybe not a lot, but it was mentioned in Annabelle 2 if you remember it in the photo. So we see her where they're not entirely sure if she's in that or she's like I don't recognize that nun.
That's
None
interesting.
looks crazy.
Yeah. That's not a part of our
That's not
clan.
part of our-
I don't think clan's the
what do they
right
call
word.
A gang of nuns.
A gaggle.
I have no idea.
Nunnery.
Nunnery.
Nonsense.
There's something else we didn't really mention either. Is that like this is a period piece kind of.
50s, yeah.
It could honestly be set at any time period, and it would feel the same.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well,
it could be in the medieval period. It could be in the 50s. It could be in the 60s. It could be in the.
I think part of the
any time.
reason maybe you're right about that is that they're like, it's more modern than it was supposed to. Or I'm sorry, it looks less modern than it was supposed to be because it was set in the 50s. With 50s technology, obviously, and all these things, but he's like, "Oh, you're in the backwoods,
Yeah,
of
in a remote area.
Yeah, of
Romania.
Romania, yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is what it's like, and so there's a little bit of like candles, but there's also was there flashlights? I think there was
Oh
flashlights.
no, there was like
I
a lot
remember.
of like things that definitely looked like, what is this? This is like, looked like Renaissance or something crazy.
One funny part that really did get me though was him carrying around that cross. That was
Oh my
I-
god, that was so funny. When he
Oh,
carried
the
it to
giant-
bar.
I'm not a
Cross.
religious dude, but I'm pretty sure I'd carry around a huge cross too.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was-
When
yeah,
he
he's in
brought it
the
to
bar.
was my favorite.
Yeah, that-
Just set it down.
That whole bar scene though was kind of for naught.
Yeah,
Like, it was
that's
just for
It
that.
was just
that
padding
funny-
out that runtime. I think
Yeah.
it barely screeches at an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So they're just gonna gotta make
Okay,
that
well, it's a quick
90
movie.
minutes.
yeah, it's a quick movie. I mean, it doesn't hold a light to Annabelle 2 or Conjuring series, or the rest of the Conjuring series, just
No.
in general.
No.
But they were trying something different. This is the first of, again, several spin-offs that we mentioned before. There was another spin-off that I had that I thought was going to happen. So the Crooked Man that you mentioned before, what I read is that the way that they're thinking about approaching it is going into a very niche, probably genre, which is fairy tale horror.
Fairy tale horror.
Which I don't know much about. I know that like old original fairy tales are like, they can be like very gory and very dark.
Yeah, Old English.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wonder if that's the kind of thing. It sounds like it's more so supernatural on top of that.
There's
But
this movie, and I've talked about it so many times, and I think it's called Troll or something from like the 70s, and has Sonny Bono in it. It's so fucking weird.
What is this?
It scares the bejesus out of me, and to this day, I still think about it and have nightmares about that troll. It's so horrifying to me. I don't know why. I think I watched it as a kid. It's not that scary anymore. It got like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. It did terrible. But I just think it's like, it'd be fun to go back and watch it and be like, how terrible is this movie?
It wasn't the infamous Troll 2, was it?
No.
Trolls in the Hood.
It's a bad movie. I know that because it got a terrible score on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's called Troll.
Yeah.
From
But
1986.
it scared the shit out of me when I was growing up.
Well, yeah.
And it's kind of
not for kids.
It reminds me of that genre of like fairy tale horror where it's like,
Right, yeah.
what is this? Oh my god. There's like crazy scenes where it's like, this person who made this was on an acid trip when they made this.
Yeah, I never watched Troll, but it's a big series. Like they made a ton of movies, as far as I understand. And it does say it says a fantasy horror comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it was an inadvertent comedy or if they knew what they knew what was up.
Knew what they were doing, but it's a bad movie. But I think it's just funny.
Sure.
And it'd be fun to go back and be like, was I really scared of this? Wow.
It happens, yeah. Yeah. Anything else you guys can remember from the film, or anything you want to mention before we call it a night?
I think it's a C. I'd give it a C. I had fun, but maybe even a C minus. Yeah, you know.
It's got forgettable characters, bad scares, questionable lore setup, which borders on ridiculous. I know our friend Digi said they have a holy hand grenade, and as soon as I saw the blood of Jesus, I thought,
It really
yes.
was a holy hand grenade, yeah.
It was.
So, one redeeming thing I can say is the score. It was very oppressive. The choral, was good.
Yeah. What's that called? That kind of like seance singing.
It's choral singing or like the monk stuff.
Yeah, there's a name for that. I can't remember it, but
Yeah.
that it's like pretty, but it's also scary.
It's, kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So I thought that was effective. The production design was okay, kind of drab. So
I think
know.
that's what they were going for, was the drab.
Yeah, but there's always something extra you can do with it. You know? So
Another I think moderately redeeming quality is was the mystery of the door. Like, God does not pass here or something. I kind of like that you didn't really know what was going on behind there.
Well-
And then eventually we end up back there behind the door. You remember what I'm talking about?
I don't remember what was behind it.
Oh,
It says like God does not dwell
Yeah.
here.
yeah, they ended up going in there.
Is that the water place?
Eventually. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
where everything happens downstairs, more or less, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. And then Mary points the way, right, guys?
Yeah, that was cute, I guess. I don't know. I would give this movie a D.
D. I think you're both right. I think it depends on what you're going into it for.
Again, I had fun and I was scared. I
Sure.
think that's maybe the point of the movie, but it's still not up to par to The Conjuring or any of the movies that we talked about.
Yeah, and what did we end up at? I don't remember. The Nun. I was thinking about we looked at several Rotten Tomatoes scores, critical versus audience. It's part of our regular show here on Color Circuit. And this one was pretty close. I think The Nun had a 20 critical and 40 audience or something like that. And so those aren't too far off.
No, that's fair.
I think we're aiming a little higher than those, though. Like, I would have given it myself probably like
I mean,
a 70,
I've definitely
75%.
seen worse horror films than this.
Yes.
But I've also seen many, many better ones.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Also, the grave is pretty terrifying, like being buried alive. and
Oh,
then-
that's the worst.
But
Yeah.
why? Why does that happen?
I agree. I think there are a lot of
There's
things
no
in this
reason
film that
For a lot of the movies.
are a necessity to the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is one of my biggest fears is to be buried alive.
Right.
Oh my god, that's so scary. And the bells, that was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, because that probably really existed. Like, people were really buried alive. And
There's a movie coming. Actually, I think it already came out. The son. He's in. Oh my god. Oh, the guy that's in Black Mirror. He's also the son of the guy in Harry Potter. He made. I think he was
Oh.
actually
Domhnall
in Black Mirror.
Gleeson?
Huh?
Domhnall Gleeson?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he has a
He
film-
just did that movie with
The Little
Grey's Anatomy.
Stranger?
Yes. I think
Is that what you're
that's
talking
what
about?
it's
Is that what I'm talking? Yeah, yeah. The Little Stranger.
In
That
the
is it.
house.
Yeah, there was bells all over that house. Remember? That was a huge part of the trailer that they were focusing on.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
for
don't know-
servants. It's like, in,
Is that what it's for?
Downton Abbey, where that's how they ring the servants.
Ah.
Because they live in the servants' quarters, which are under like the bottom floor. of the
Hmm.
house.
Gotcha. And then in the trailer,
Yeah.
there's like nobody in any of the rooms, but all of the bells are going off at once. That's kind of part of the spook. That also is like a period piece horror film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's something I missed because of Telluride. So.
Yeah. I do
but it
still
was
wanna
there.
watch it.
No, it was playing here
Oh,
while I
gotcha.
was gone.
While you were at
Yeah,
Telluride.
yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, let us know in the comments below what you thought of The Nun. We were kind of iffy on it. Obviously not our favorite horror film. What's your favorite? Let us know all of that below. Follow us on our new Patreon page. We're really excited about that. Twitch.tv/colorsticket live is where we spend a lot of our time live. If you could follow there, hit that subscribe button below. Follow, like, did I hit all the verbs?
Share.
I think I hit all the verbs. Share is a good
Subscribe.
verb. Yep. My name is Dylan.
I'm Jess.
I'm Hector, and if you want to read a full review of The Nun, go visit my website, Sandia Film Journal.
And if you want to catch me doing some cool vintage stuff, you should catch me on Instagram at Hippie Amber Vintage, spelled Hippie.
If you want to watch some incestuous fun, catch me at... No, I'm just kidding.
He's
But-
not a porn star. He's
No. Yeah, that was my sign off. Goodbye.
Bye.